In a previous video, I showed you how to use the Seedkeeper smart cards to set up a digital inheritance plan using two different methods: early distribution to your heirs and secure storage in multiple locations. But I got to thinking after I made that video, what happens after you've gone through all the trouble of hiding those Seedkeeper cards around the globe or giving them to your heirs at Thanksgiving, and over time your passwords, your crypto storage configuration, or account services all change? That is a disaster. As those things change over time, you're left with the task of updating all of the cards that you've distributed or hidden. Not a good situation. Today, we're going to address that critical flaw in your digital inheritance plan: how to keep your distributed information up to date as your digital asset portfolio changes. I'll show you how to fix this hidden weakness and create a truly dynamic inheritance plan that combines military-grade security with easy inheritance plan updates. Let me paint a picture. Last month, you got a fresh new hardware wallet for your expanding crypto portfolio. This month, you switched password managers for improved security. And next month, you're probably going to open new accounts on different exchanges and DeFi platforms. Your digital asset portfolio is constantly in flux, but gathering up all your distributed or hidden cards is just not practical. And it defeats the whole purpose of distribution in the first place. The key to solving this problem is to separate what changes from what stays the same. Think about it. While the locations of your digital assets and passwords and seed phrases can change, the way to access them could remain constant. This is where modern encryption technology comes to our rescue. Instead of storing the sensitive data directly on the distributed cards, we'll instead use them to store something permanent. That is, access credentials to an encrypted cloud document that you can update anytime, anywhere. But not every cloud storage is up to the task. After extensive research and security analysis, I've found two leading services that stand out for digital inheritance planning. That is, Internxt and Proton. I'm sure there are a lot more, but I'm going to focus on those two today. Oh, just a quick note before we get started. This video is for educational purposes only. Always conduct your own research and consider consulting with a legal or financial professional when creating your inheritance plan. I am not an attorney nor a financial advisor. I'm just a dude in a polo on YouTube. Okay, let's get back to it. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of setting up Internxt and Proton, let's explore two possible approaches to implementing this solution. Option 1, full digital storage. In this option, you store your sensitive information directly in a document stored on encrypted cloud storage, including cryptocurrency wallet details, including seed phrases and passphrases, password manager master passwords, important account credentials, digital asset locations, and various recovery phrases and PINs, all on one document. And a critical note about security here. While it might be tempting to encrypt your document locally before uploading it to a cloud storage provider, this can create another level of risk for your heirs. Adding your own encryption layer on top of a service's zero-knowledge encryption could risk derailing your entire inheritance plan if your heirs can't handle both accessing the account and dealing with your separate encryption protocol. Remember, these services use military-grade encryption. Carefully consider whether the security benefits of additional encryption outweigh the risk of your heirs being unable to access the document. The second option includes location-only references. If you prefer keeping your sensitive data completely offline, that works too. Then in that case, you would simply store the location information where you keep all of the sensitive data. For example, the document would say a seed phrase for wallet X is in a safe deposit box number 623 at bank B. That's an option. Or a master password document is in the fireproof safe in my office. Or possibly the hardware wallet backup is in the attorney's vault, or something like that. I know what you're thinking. Well, what if I could use a hybrid approach? I could put some location information and some direct information on the document. I don't know if I'd recommend that. Mixing approaches can create confusion for you and your heirs. You might confuse which piece of data is stored online or offline and get things completely mixed up. And maybe you forget something in the process and it locks your heirs out of their inheritance. I think it's probably better to choose one clear strategy and stick with it. Okay, I mentioned two services that I'm going to review in today's video. One is Internxt and one is Proton. Let's go ahead and look at the first one called Internxt.com. Internxt can help make your digital inheritance simple and secure. Here's what makes it great for inheritance planning. The platform is designed for everyday users while maintaining bank-level security. Your files are protected by the same level of encryption used by military organizations, but you don't need to be a tech expert to use it. What sets Internxt apart is its user-friendly approach to security. Your files are automatically encrypted when they leave your device and split across multiple secure locations. This means that even if one storage location is compromised, your data remains secure. For the technically curious, they achieve this through open source, independently audited code that is available on GitHub, AES 256-bit encryption with zero-knowledge technology, which means they can't even access your data without the decryption key that you have. They have a distributed storage architecture. They use two-factor authentication and one-time passwords, and they are fully GDPR compliant and EU-based. The main limitation with the Internxt service is that the documents that are stored on the site need to be created and updated locally on your computer, since Internxt doesn't have a direct document editing functionality yet, or feature yet. And let's discuss our other encryption option, which is Proton Drive, which offers a little bit different approach and might suit your needs better. The standout feature is their built-in document editor, allowing you to update your inheritance information directly in their end-to-end encrypted, secure environment. Based in privacy-conscious Switzerland, Proton makes securing your digital legacy straightforward. You get a built-in secure document editor for easy updating, the option to add VPN protection for added security, the same military-grade encryption as Internxt, and protection under Switzerland's very strong privacy laws. However, there is one limitation to consider with Proton. Proton doesn't offer password-protected sharing links. This means you'll either need to share your login credentials directly, which would require disabling your two-factor authentication functionality, or using a public unlisted link, which, while extremely difficult to crack, theoretically could be discovered. And if it is discovered, the person would have access to your entire document. And I need to make a quick mention about Apple's iCloud. For Apple users, it's worth mentioning that iCloud Drive can be a secure alternative to both of these services, but only if you enable advanced data protection. This setting implements end-to-end encryption for your iCloud Drive files, providing similar security benefits to Internxt and Proton. Just make sure the setting is enabled before storing sensitive information. However, sharing links for documents are not password protected. So, like Proton Drive, you might need to share your login information on the Seedkeeper card rather than simple access information to a document. All right, let's go over cost and sustainability. This entire solution is remarkably affordable. The Seedkeeper cards are about $27 or 25 euro, so they're really affordable. There's a link in the description down below so you can pick up your series of Seedkeeper cards. Also, I need to mention the video for Seedkeeper is right up here in the corner, so please check it out. In this video, I'm not going to go through the Seedkeeper application in detail. I did that in a different video, so check it out. Also, Internxt and Proton Drive have free memberships available, and they encompass everything you need to get up and running with this plan. And another option is using a service called deadmanswitch.net, which has a $50 lifetime, one-time fee for the service of sending out emails following your passing. Those emails can include PIN information to access the Seedkeeper cards. As far as updating the documents stored on those sites, it's free and unlimited. I like the way that sounds. Okay, so what tools do you need to implement this inheritance plan? You need a free account at Internxt or Proton.me for secure cloud storage. You need the Seedkeeper cards that you plan to distribute to your heirs or hide securely. And optional, but highly recommended, an account on deadmanswitch.net. And again, it's $50 for life. So what information would you store on the Seedkeeper cards that you are going to distribute to your heirs? Well, if you're using the Internxt.com option, what you're going to put on the Seedkeeper card is all the information to access the file that you've stored all the information on. That would include the sharing link password that you set up. It would include the sharing link, of course, and any other information that they would need to access the file. For the Proton Drive option, you can share the public link on the card if you'd like, or you can share the login information for your Proton.me account, provided the 2FA is turned off. And you need to go over how to access the information on the Seedkeeper card with your heirs when you distribute the cards to them. That is very important. And remember to test the whole process from your heirs' perspective before finalizing everything. Okay, so now let's walk through the setup process. Step 1 is an optional security enhancement. For those wanting optimal security during the digital document creation process, consider using a computer with a fresh operating system install or booting from a USB with a privacy-focused Linux system like Tails, which leaves no trace on the computer after you restart. Note that while using a virtual machine might seem like you're being secure because it's a fresh install, it doesn't provide the same security guarantees as a full hard drive reset of your own basic computer. This extra step ensures that you're working with a clean system with no malware or keyloggers when first creating and uploading your document. While not required, it's like starting from a clean slate. And at least with Proton, you only need to do this one time for the initial setup. With Proton, regular updates can be done from any computer since the cloud storage encryption protects the data being transmitted. Step 2, document preparation. Create your document with a simple generic name like shopping list, wish list, resume, or monthly budget or something like that. In addition, you can try to remove any metadata associated on the document. And believe me, that is a whole nother rabbit hole. I found a tiny free application that does it for you. It's called ExifTool, EXIFTOOL.org. It's available for download at that site, and it's free. And I'm not really sure if it matters that the metadata is attached to the document, but if you want to be extra careful, go ahead and remove it. And the third step is cloud storage setup. That's hard to say. Let's go ahead and go over to the Internxt.com website and check it out. And then I'll show you a little bit around the service. Okay, here we are at Internxt.com. And like I said, they have I'm going to try not to move this table. It's a little wobbly. Here's the home page. And if you click on pricing, you can see right here, it says get started with our free plan. You can select that plan and sign up for a free plan. It has a 1 gigabyte of forever storage, and it's as encrypted as all of their other storage. It's the same thing, and it's free. And that's what I suggest you signing up for. I'm going to take you inside the application so you can see what it looks like. It's not really exciting, but I'll show you my plan. Okay, here we are inside my Internxt.com Drive site. And if you look down here in the lower left, you can see that I do have quite a large amount of storage. They have lifetime plans, and mine is 22 terabytes of storage, essentially unlimited at this point. I've taken advantage of annual sales that they've had over the years and just bought more and more and more storage at really cheap lifetime amounts. So I have a lot of storage. And as you can see on the page here, there are 2 folders. One is for this demonstration, and I'm going to show you the document that's in that folder. And I click that, and it says shoppinglist.docx. Now, I can click on this, and I can see the contents of the folder, but I can't edit it. Not yet. I think they're working on that capability. But if you go back to the main page here, you're not going to be sharing that document. What you're going to be doing is sharing the folder that contains the document. That way, if you add any other documents or want to put anything else in that folder, you don't have to change anything on those Seedkeeper cards. You do that by selecting the folder, going up here, finding the sharing button, which is this little icon of people. Click share, and the sharing box comes up. And it says encrypted data, people with access. You can invite specific people through their email address, or you can just have a general sharing link, which is what I have. But my link is protected with a password, which I don't find this in a lot of other sites. Then I can copy the link right here and paste it into the Seedkeeper for safekeeping. And I'm going to show you what that link looks like. I'm going to go into a new tab here, paste the link, and this is what your heirs would see. The password to get into this account here or access this folder would be on the Seedkeeper card. Makes sense? Additionally, they can't access the Seedkeeper card without the PIN, and the PIN they would receive through deadmansswitch.net. See how it all works out? And you can update this document indefinitely. It's really neat. Okay, so that's how Internxt works. It is military-grade encryption, zero knowledge. They cannot access your data ever. And it's distributed. That is, if one of their servers gets hacked, your data is still safe because they're only going to get a little piece of the data, and it's encrypted on top of that. Okay, now let's go ahead and move over to proton.me and look at the Proton Drive application. Here we are at proton.me's homepage, and they have a lot of different services, as you can see. And right up here in the top, it says create a free account, which is what I have. I do not have a paid account for this service. And I went through the process of creating the account. They have all these different options: Proton Password Manager, Proton Email, Calendar, Drive, etc. We are interested in the Proton Drive application, and it looks like this. So with Proton, it's a different setup. I actually have a personal file on here, but they have the ability to create and edit documents using end-to-end encryption, which is what I'm connected with right now. And if I click this document and open it, it opens a new window, and bang. This is the grocery list, and you can put your seed phrases here and passphrases and whatever you want to do. If you look up here in the upper left, it says end-to-end encrypted. Every change you make is automatically and securely saved to the drive. So this is really unique with Proton. And also iCloud has the same capabilities. Unfortunately, when you share this document, you do so creating a public link, which is open to anyone, or you can add a list of people, but they have to maintain that email address in order to get access to this site, or to this document, excuse me. So it's up to you. If you use the public link, this is the identification number for this file. I have put this in a password manager, and it would take somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.1 to the 25th power centuries to brute force or guess this number. And it says grocery list. So why would somebody spend zillions of centuries trying to break the encryption to get into a grocery list? It just doesn't make sense. So the file is obscured because it's just a generic file, and it's encrypted, and you can use this public link, and the chances of somebody guessing it are essentially zero. But if you otherwise want to make sure that nobody can get it, don't create a public link. You can uncheck this, and then you would give your heirs access to your Proton account. Okay? So that's the other way to get around that. Either way, make sure you save the login credentials for both services on your Seedkeeper card, along with any other information that's necessary. Now, once you've got this all set up, you're going to need to maintain things. Here's where the elegance of this system really shines. Updating your inheritance information becomes as simple as accessing your document through the cloud storage's secure interface. In the case of Proton or even iCloud, making your updates online directly with end-to-end encryption. For Internxt, however, you're going to need to download the document, make your changes locally, and then re-upload the document. Alternatively, you could keep an encrypted copy locally on your computer, simply decrypt the document, make the changes, upload the document, and then re-encrypt the document and keep it stored on your computer. Again, it's imperative that the operating environment on your computer is secure if you're going to do that. And the best part is your distributed cards never need to change because they're storing the access credentials, not the actual sensitive data. This means your heirs will always have access to the latest information, but only when they receive the card's PIN through the deadmansswitch.net service. It's brilliant. At least I think so. In conclusion, remember the problem we started with? The seemingly impossible task of keeping all the distributed cards up to date as your digital asset portfolio changes? By storing permanent access credentials instead of fluid asset information, we've turned an impractical update process into a seamless one. Whether you choose Internxt, Proton, or iCloud, or another secure storage option, you can now maintain bulletproof security while keeping your inheritance plan current with just a few clicks. I hope this helps iron out any flaws in your digital inheritance plan. Links to all the tools mentioned are in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe for more cryptocurrency and Bitcoin insights on this channel by hitting the subscribe button and the thumbs up button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.